No, it is, you guys. It's in the actual lawsuit. Seriously, you guys, it's in the actual freaking lawsuit. This is absurd. So, the long-awaited article that everyone has been waiting to see for some time now. All right. Chess pioneer sues, saying she was slighted in the Queen's Gambit. Nona Gaprindashvili, a history-making chess champion, sued Netflix after a line in the series mentioned her by name and said she had never faced men. She had often. Okay. Alright, so this is a picture of Nona Gaprindashvili playing in London in 1964. In the final episode of The Queen's Gambit, the wildly popular Netflix series, an announcer delivers chess play-by-play and commentary while the show's fictional heroine, portrayed by Anya Taylor-Joy, competes in a climactic tournament in Moscow. The only unusual thing about her really is her sex. And even that's not unique in Russia, the announcer intones as a woman watching the match comes into focus. There's Nona Gaprindashvili, but she's the female world champion and has never faced men. The series is fictional, but there is a real pioneering chess champion named Nona Gaprindashvili, the first woman to be named a grandmaster. Now 80 years old and living in Tbilisi, Georgia, she was pained to learn that the television show had erased her many successes against male opponents. A 1968 headline in the New York Times, for instance, reads, "Chess, Miss Gaprindashvili beat 7 men in a strong tourney." So on Thursday, Miss Gaprindashvili filed a lawsuit against Netflix in federal district court in Los Angeles, seeking millions of dollars in damages for what the suit claims is a devastating falsehood, undermining and degrading her accomplishments before an audience of many millions, and calling for the liner about her not facing men to be removed. Netflix said that it greatly respected Ms. Gaprindashvili, but that it believed her claim was without merit. Netflix has only the utmost respect for Ms. Gaprindashvili and her illustrious career, but we believe this claim has no merit and will vigorously defend the case, the company said in a statement. As the 25-page complaint details, Ms. Gaprindashvili did in fact play against many high-skilled male champions over the course of her career, including before the episode in question takes place. The suit claims that the line that she had never faced men caused professional harm to Ms. Gaprindashvili, who continues to compete in senior chess tournaments, and notes that the Queen's Gambit was viewed in more than 62 million households in the first month after its release. This was an insulting experience, Ms. Gaprindashvili said during the hour-long interview, when she could not resist at times enthusiastically recounting some of her most memorable chess matches and victories. They were trying to do this fictional character who was blazing the trail for other women, when in reality I had already blazed the trail and inspired generations, Ms. Gaprindashvili said in a recent video interview arranged by her lawyers, speaking in Georgian, which was translated to English by her grandson. That's the irony. This is my entire life that has been crossed out, as though it is not important, she said. The lawsuit alleges that Netflix brazenly and deliberately lied about Gaprindashvili's achievements for the cheap and cynical purpose of heightening the drama by making it appear that its fictional hero had managed to do what no other woman, including Gaprindashvili, had done. The complaint added that in a story that was supposed to inspire women by showing a young woman competing with men at the highest levels of world chess, Netflix humiliated the one real woman trailblazer who had actually faced and defeated men on the world stage in the same era. The Queen's Gambit, based on the 1983 novel by Walter Tevis, became what Netflix described as its biggest limited scripted series ever. The series won 2 Golden Globes earlier this year and has garnered 18 Emmy Awards and nominations. There are plans for it to be adapted into a stage musical. And just as Ms. Gaprindashvili has been doing for years through her gameplay and example, the series has inspired more women to take up chess while also renewing concerns about sexism in the game. The lawsuit notes that the line in the series saying that Ms. Gaprindashvili had never faced men had been changed from the book it was based on, and quotes this passage from the original novel. There was Nona Gaprindashvili not up to the level of this tournament, but a player who had met all these Russian grandmasters many times before. The real Ms. Gaprindashvili began playing professionally at 13 and later became a female world champion, and as the suit noted, the first woman in history to be awarded the rank of Grandmaster after a tournament in Lone Pine, California in 1977. The Tbilisi Chess Palace, the lawsuit noted, is dedicated to Ms. Gaprindashvili. It took years of fighting to get accepted, Ms. Gaprindashvili said in the interview. Whenever they saw me as a small, short, young girl, they would tell me to get in line, to play next time, but not now. But I always asserted my place. Ms. Gaprindashvili said that she has been asked about the show often. Those discussions evoked memories of her own rise as a female chess champion, but she said that she could not understand why a fictional television show would lie about a real person's life. Okay. I'll say everything after the article. Not many things can damage me emotionally, she said, but this was surprising to me and humiliating. The lawsuit, she said, would now be another part of her legacy. It is already part of my legacy that women chess players are accepted and becoming grandmasters, Miss Gaprindashvili said. This is also a big part of it. It is a fight I began, and it is a fight I am continuing. All right. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say about a couple of things. There are a lot of things that I'm gonna say. The first thing that I'm gonna say is that frankly, I think this lawsuit is frivolous and absolutely absurd. And the reason that I'll say that, first off, is because the fact is, if you look at the number of movies over history where people's like their careers have been changed, or things, you know, people's careers have been changed, or they changed their what happened in their lives. I mean, I think everybody and their brother should sue for damages, frankly. So to me, I think that, like, there's no way they're gonna win this, because if she were to ever win this, it sets a precedent that is, frankly, means that you'll never have television movies or sitcoms being made again. That's the first thing that I would say. The second thing that I would say is, I will say, however, that she obviously is a beacon. She was one of the first, if not the first, female players. Well, she's not the first trailblazer. I mean, the first trailblazer, to be fair, is of course Vera Menchik. So she is a trailblazer, and I mean, she deserves a lot of credit for that. But I would say that I have to wonder how much of this is her and how much of this isn't her lawyers basically like turning this into something much bigger than it should be. So imagine what's happening to you. Well, I'll put it this way. First of all, she's 80 years old. She is not a serious competitor anymore. And there are not appearance fees for senior events. So that's the first thing I would say, quite frankly. But I feel like this is getting taken out of context, and I don't think they're damages. Unfortunately, I think, you know, this is going to look very bad for chess, frankly, like with many other things. But yeah, it's unpleasant and unfortunate, is what I would say. And it just, I don't know who's like behind it or not. I don't actually think it's her, though. I think it's the lawyer. I think it's probably the lawyers. That's my guess, is that it's the lawyers thinking that they can sue and get money or something out of this. I don't know. You can say, yeah, you can say that they shouldn't have used her real name. That's probably fair, actually. Well, I'm trying to think. Let me think back. So when Searching for Bobby Fischer came out, that movie, did they ever use like Bruce Pandolfini's name in that movie or not? Like, I'm actually trying to think about other chess movies, if like they use like names of like prominent chess coaches or not. I mean, Netflix is wrong for what they said, but trying to say that it's intentional or like they lied on purpose is I think is just ridiculous. I don't think so. Did they mention that or not? They did. Okay, but they probably paid him for using a name. I don't think you have to pay for using a name, but Netflix is not going to lose this. I mean, like I said, if Netflix is going to lose this, then every movie that's ever been made in history the creators will get sued, plain and simple. But yeah, they made a mistake. Probably they should have looked at it a lot more closely than they did. I mean, and they made a mistake, but there's no way that there's no way that Netflix is going to lose this case. That's what I would say. Netflix has the best lawyers in the world. I mean, who knows? Movies use celebrity names all the time and make fun of them. You can't sue for that. That's also true, Scruffers. I mean, there's so many things where it's happened. Oh yeah, it's like actually a good example is what Delusion just wrote, which she says Zuckerberg also would have no shot at getting any damages for the Social Network, right? In the Social Network, they were 100% talking about Zuckerberg. They definitely portrayed him in a negative light at various times throughout the movie, and he could sue for that, but that doesn't mean he's getting any money. Just remove the clip from the show and pay her 1K. Yeah, probably something like that is what should happen. But I really feel like this is a lawyer thing more than her, is my guess. I think it's lawyers. That's my read of the situation. And that's that. Regardless of legal standing, is it right? I mean, the way I look at it is I think it's just a mistake. I think it's just a mistake. Probably someone probably just overlooked the line and changed it slightly and didn't realize what it meant, and that's all there is to it. So maybe someone's gonna get fired for that. But I mean, really, to say that it's lying, it's intentional to make her look bad, I mean, I just don't buy it at all. I think it's just silly. I do. That's what it feels like to me. You'd be personally insulted if you were her. Okay, but I mean, let me give you other examples. Like if I see so what you're saying essentially is that like, but then if I see something on the internet that I don't like, let's say someone says something really bad about me, you know, can I go and sue them for that because they say something really nasty about me and it could potentially affect my career on Twitch? I mean, no, I can't do anything. So yeah, it's like, I mean, if you lose money, I mean, like our chest does daily, right? Exactly, you guys. Yeah, I'm saying, like, this is the point, though. It's just that's not how it works. I don't know how justice works. Yeah, but every movie that's ever been made, yeah, sue our chest. Yeah, if every movie that's ever made would basically have to take stuff out of this if something like this won on if something like this won in federal court. They didn't make her look bad. Yeah, I mean, I would also argue that I think the show was just, I mean, really good. I think it actually did a lot for women's chess, you know, around the world. So yeah, that's just my read. Yeah, you don't think women could get some amount? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, who knows? That's my read on it. But yeah, that's my guess. That's my guess in terms of how this goes. And frankly, you guys, I know you're trying to stir some drama elsewhere, but you know, there's certain things that go both ways. It was Netflix discrediting your legacy. How does that discredit my legacy? That's one line in a movie, you guys. It's one line in a movie. I mean it's one line in like a show. Seriously, one line in a show. I'm sorry, but like I just don't buy it. That's just my read. Plain and simple. Will I keep following the story? I mean, I don't think it's gonna be much of a story. Probably Netflix will Netflix will probably make some kind of small deal out of court, something like that is my guess. That's all. Yeah, it's one big lie. It's not a lie, you guys. Clearly it's not a lie. I mean, seriously, they made a mistake on a show, and you can sue for one line in a show and get $5 million. I mean, come on, use your brain, you guys. Seriously. I mean, seriously. Also, what I would say separately is that this was not a show about her life. This was based on a book that was written by someone else who, of course, they're long gone at this point. So it was not about her life even. So you guys are insane. I mean, seriously, the fact that people are acting like this is such some huge gross thing of incompetence is absurd. That's all I'm gonna say. And also, I mean, separately, I saw a tweet as well. There were other claims involved. Like, I mean, let me pull this up too. Here, this is a Chess24 tweet. It says, it seems unlikely Nona Gaprindashvili had played Anand in 1968. So let me open this. It says, the allegation that Gaprindashvili has never faced men is manifestly false, as well as being grossly sexist and belittling. Okay. By 1968, the year in which this episode is set, she had competed against at least 59 male chess players, 28 of them simultaneously in one game, including at least 10 grandmasters of that time, including Dragoljub Velimirovich, Savitar Gligoric, Paul Keres, Bojan Krejcika, Boris Spassky, Vishy Anand, and Mikhail Tal. The last three were also world champions during their career. Yeah, I mean, there's one slight problem that frankly this should not be in here. This again tells me that I don't know if this is a lawyer or who it is doing this, but the fact is Vishy Anand, Garry Kasparov was born in 1963. So as I understand, that means Vishy Anand was born in 1969, right? I always know Kasparov and then I just add 6 to Anand, and so Anand was born in 1969. Born in 1969, and they're trying to make this claim. Like, I think this is in the actual lawsuit they're filing. And this also tells me that, I mean, whoever her lawyers are don't know what they're doing. So yeah, my read of this is that I think it's just, my guess is the lawyers are just like, the lawyers are being idiots. That's plain and simple what I would say. That's it. That mistake has no bearing on the lawsuit. The problem is that she doesn't have a cause of action. No, but I mean, it shows the lack of professionalism that basically they do this and they can't even get their facts right on who the players are that she played. She did play Anand, just not in 1968. Yeah, I'm pretty confident she did play she did play Anand at some point in her career. But I mean, again, to say that it was in 1968 when he wasn't even born, like, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. That can't be in the complaint. It's impossible. Well, I don't know. What is this then? Test 24 gave a link to this. No, it is, you guys. It's in the actual lawsuit. Seriously, you guys, it's in the actual freaking lawsuit. This is absurd. It's in the lawsuit, you guys. It's in the lawsuit. Like, this is not some random joke. This is in the lawsuit. This is a file. This is in the actual lawsuit against Netflix. This is just insane. Yeah, and I mean, it's just, yeah, it's right here on page 3 of their actual lawsuit they're filing. It's right here on page 3. Yeah, I mean, this is just nuts. Yeah, it's right here, number 7, right here. The allegation. I should read some of this. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is just insane. This is insane. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna say that it's just insane. Read the 21 pages in the next 10 hours. I mean, yeah, I mean, like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, there should just be some short, Vichy should sue for being belittled by the incorrect lawsuit. Yeah, well, it's just insane to me because off of one line trying to claim all this different stuff, like, yes, it's a mistake. Maybe you can make some argument they lied, but I mean, fact is, like, then yeah, Netflix will pay you for this info. I know what you mean by that, but yeah, I would just say, yeah, this is just insane, completely insane. What Netflix probably will do is they should just settle for some small amount of money, maybe a few $1,000s or something, and you know, basically say that, yeah, they made their mistake and whatever, and that's that, and you know, move on. That's what should happen, plain and simple. I mean, if this actually goes to court, I honestly, I have to say, if this goes to court, I'm actually worried that she's going to lose money in this, because the fact is, she'll have to pay her lawyers, and I don't think she's going to win this lawsuit if this actually ends up going to court. And so I actually would, yeah, I mean, I hope that this doesn't go to court. They won't settle. It would encourage others to sue for similar BS. True. No, that's true. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, it's yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Although, actually, wait, there is something interesting here. I just noticed something interesting. Number 12. After the series was broadcast, Gaprindashvili confronted Netflix over its lie and demanded a public statement acknowledging the falsity of the statement, apology, and a retraction. Netflix could have responded in any number of inexpensive and morally honorable ways of making redress, but instead it responded with extraordinary hubris, dismissing Gaprindashvili's assertion of defamation by claiming that the false statement was innocuous. This arrogant refusal, okay, to take responsibility for its actions was shockingly tone deaf given the sexism and offensiveness of its lie. Now, mind you guys, I am no lawyer, but as someone who knows, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but as somebody who knows a lot of lawyers, I have to say that generally when I've spoken to lawyers and when I've seen them write in various briefs, whether it's like federal cases or, you know, various cases in Florida or New York, generally what I see in these sorts of things is stuff that's very even kill. The wording is very even kill throughout. It's never like aggressive, and it feels like the wording is extremely aggressive here in terms of how it's written. And not, it feels very aggressive. It doesn't feel even kill at all. When I read this one paragraph, the wording is for but this is the actual lawsuit, you guys. This is the actual lawsuit. But I'm just saying, you're always even kill. You make your point, but you're never like, it's never, I don't know. It's unusual. Anyway, it is interesting though what they say though about that innocuous. For those of you guys who aren't familiar, innocuous means like innocent. Basically, it means something that was just done. It's kind of like a mistake, no harm, no foul. Basically, that's what it is. Yeah, the lawsuit has been word to rile up the media and bully a settlement out of Netflix. I mean, I guess maybe. Yeah, that's just my read. It's just it feels very aggressive, very aggressively written. Like this arrogant refusal. I mean, arrogant is just like a very unusual word to use there. You would say I mean, you could say this surprising refusal, for example. or I'm trying to think of another word you could use instead of saying arrogant, but saying this arrogant refusal. Like the lawyers that I know would never write it like that. They would say something like this surprising lack of admission, for example, is this surprising lack of admission is a much better way of wording it, saying this arrogant refusal. Like you can say that the surprising, this failure to recognize the admission. There's so many different words so many different ways of wording it here that would actually sound much more legalese and better, in my opinion. So that's just my read of that. I'm just gonna scroll through it again very briefly for you guys. Is there anything else? Okay, they talk about everything she won, right? I mean, obviously they wrote a book. Okay, I mean this just okay, yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll scroll through it, see if there's anything else briefly that catches my eye. I mean, because it feels like at least like 10 pages. These next like 10 pages are basically based on, they're showing like what she did in her career, how successful she was, to sort of support their claims. But I mean, okay, I mean, let's see, was there anything here? Okay, let's see. Number 30, Gabrindashvili was the subject of the film Glory to the Queen, which honored the female chess greats of Georgia. Unlike the Netflix series, which gratuitously insulted Gabrindashvili, Glory to the Queen properly honored her as a woman who helped revolutionize female chess by taking on male competitors across the globe. One sentence is gratuitously insulted. Man, you guys, I have to say this. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to make fun of the situation, but you know what? The amount of times that I have been, what's a better way of putting it? The amount of times that on our chess I've been more than gratuitously insulted in a single day is, I mean, I really should start considering something. Because I feel like I've had significantly worse flung at me in a single day of my life than a one line in a TV show. I'm poo-poo. Yes, I'm poo-poo. You know what that means? Asymptomatics. I'm gonna sue you, man. That's not okay. I'm poo-poo. No, that's not okay, dude. I'm gonna sue you. You've humiliated me. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I mean, this just I just, as I go through this, I just as I go through this, I mean, I don't know. I can't really yeah, can't really understand this. And I think, I mean they use her likeness negatively. How is that negative exactly? How's that negative? They basically, yeah, they prop up the protagonist, Beth Harmon. But I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, I just don't really, I can't really get into it. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I mean, I see zero chance for her for her winning this. Why wouldn't Netflix get the facts right? I mean, I have no doubt they probably dramatized it. They probably dramatized it somewhat intentionally. But I mean, that happens in anything. Like, I mean, you try to hype it up as much as you can. I mean, period. I mean, I feel like there are endless TV shows, endless movies. So yeah, we heard a move too, but the suer is Gabrindashvili. She's suing Netflix. But yeah, it's like Netflix brazenly and deliberately lied about Gabrindashvili's achievement for the deep and cynical purpose of heightening drama. Okay, I mean, brazenly and deliberately, I mean, okay, like very inflammatory language. This story was supposed to inspire women by showing a young woman competing with men at the highest levels of world chess. Netflix humiliated the one real woman trailblazer who had actually faced and defeated men on the world stage the same year. Again, you know what I would say about this though is this is also not true. Frankly, this just is not true about her. She is not the original trailblazer in women's chess. The original trailblazer is Vera Menchik, who was playing chess in the 1930s and I believe the 1940s. Like, she's not the trailblazer. Vera Menchik is the original trailblazer. So even this is factually wrong. I mean, this is just factually wrong. Like, it's just factually wrong. She's not the one real woman trailblazer. I mean, Vera Menchik was playing against top male players in the 1930s and 1940s, and she did beat some of them too. So, like that's the thing. Like it's just very questionable in my opinion. Very questionable. So yeah, I should watch a JCS video if I think this is aggressive. The stuff defense lawyers say for the media in court, like in Casey Anthony case, etc. Yeah. I'm getting a call from Netflix legal counsel. I mean, careful with your wording, they might sue you too. Okay. But yeah, that's what I would say. It's just yeah. This kind of makes me question why there are different leagues for men and women in chess. Forgive me if I'm ignorant, but it seems kind of odd they're separate categories. I mean, that's a very tough topic as well to talk about, but yeah, I'm not reading all of this. I'm just scrolling through it, seeing if anything catches my eye, because I actually kind of like I like reading some stuff from time to time. I'm always curious to see what ends up in legal briefs, and when you file in court, what are in these documents. I'm always kind of curious to see what the wording is, what the language is. But it looks like, yeah, I mean, it looks like most of the is she asking for 5 million on page 23? Okay, let's go to page 23. Okay, page 23. Okay. Oh, here's the prayer for relief. Okay. Whereas Gaprin-Dashvili prays for relief against defendants, and each of them as follows: for actual and presumed damages of at least $5 million, for punitive damages, for temporary, preliminary, self-permanent, injunctive relief, restraining and enjoining defendants, their agents, and all persons acting in concert with it to remove the statement that Gaprin-Dashvili never played men from the series, for costs of suit, and for such further relief as court deems just and proper. All right. Yeah, it's page 23. You guys got it. Yeah, I mean, yeah. 5 million for that sentence. I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I mean, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt that I don't think this is probably her pushing super aggressively for all this. I suspect this is a lawyer seeing money and wanting to try and get the bags. But yeah, Twitter screenshots. There are Twitter screenshots as well. Okay, I feel like I'm Hassan right now or something. Like I'm just like, okay, let's see what do they put here. Pumbaa Twitter. Okay, Pumbaa Twitter. This, dear Netflix, I've heard about your new TV series, The Queen's Gambit, and I want to address on some misleading information on your show. Firstly, I'd be grateful if you could tell me why you were lying about Miss Nona Gaprin-Dashvili's career. To be more specific, in the last episode of the series, you mentioned that she had never played against male opponents, which is absolute nonsense. In 1962, right after she became the champion, she was invited to the traditional international tournament where she was the only female player. Miss Nona is the first woman grandmaster among men. She has a lot of individual prizes, including women's world chess championship titles 5 times. She won as many as 25 medals, amongst which 11 team gold medals and 9 individual gold medals. As you can imagine, it's pretty unprofessional behavior of you to lie about her in front of 7 billion people. Okay. Considering the fact that Georgia is very small and unknown country, you make her career not as impactful as it actually was. We as proud Georgians demand a public apology letter to her and her tremendous legacy. Okay, in front of 7 billion people. Well, I mean, like I said, I want to say Mark Zuckerberg, man, where's Mark Zuckerberg? He should be really mad. He should be really mad about Social Network, because they definitely said something there that I'm sure was not true about him, and basically he was portrayed very badly in the in Social Network. I guarantee you he's not filing suits and winning them. So yeah, when you reference Twitter posts in your lawsuit, this is worthless. I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. Although it's kind of interesting. I do wonder, like, can you use tweets as part of a lawsuit? Do I have any other articles on this? I don't think I have other articles on this topic, but yeah, to me, it's just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Honestly, I really don't know what I'm supposed to say, because to me, it looks weird. Okay, let's cover the one. There's another article on this from chess.com. Okay, Nona Gaprin-Dashvili sues Netflix for alleged defamation in The Queen's Gambit. GM Nona Gaprin-Dashvili has filed a lawsuit against Netflix for false. Oh, they use a different term in here. They say false light invasion of privacy. False light invasion of privacy. What does that? I don't even know what that means. But this is probably the actual wording in the document itself, I'm guessing, because this just means it's on some page that I didn't see. False light invasion. Yeah, I don't even know what that means. The false light, like false light and false. So they're saying it's an invasion of privacy by portraying someone in a false light. Basically, is what they're saying. I guess. I mean, I don't. It's on the first page of the document. Okay, let's go back to the doc. Where's the doc? Here's the document. It's on the first page. You said. Go back to page 1. Okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah, number 1. It says, this is an action for false light invasion of privacy and defamation per se, arising from a knowingly false statement of fact made about Gaprin Dashvi in the popular Netflix miniseries The Queen's Gambit. Okay, so that's what it's about. Okay, let's go back to the article. And defamation after a line in the hit series The Queen's Gambit erroneously suggested that she was playing only against women. The 5th Women's World Chess Champion seeks over $5 million in damages for what the suit claims is a devastating falsehood, undermining and degrading her accomplishments before an audience of many millions. Okay. The lawsuit is about a line in the last episode of the highly successful series that won 2 Golden Globes earlier this year and that is expected to win several prizes at the 2021 Emmy Awards on Sunday. While the main protagonist is playing a tournament in Moscow, a commentator says the only unusual thing about her really is her sex, and even that's not unique in Russia. There's no Gaprin Dashvili, but she's the female world champion and has never faced men. This, however, is far from the truth and even somewhat ironic. The now 80-year-old Gaprin Dashvili, who still plays in senior tournaments, is in fact the first female player ever to gain the General Grandmaster title, which she achieved in 1978. In addition to holding the Women's World Champion title for 16 years, 1962 to 1978, the Georgian chess legend often played in open tournaments as well and faced many men, including 3 world champions GMHikaru, Boris Spassky, and Vishy Anand. Although she did not play Vishy Anand in 1968. Okay, in its coverage of the lawsuit, the New York Times mentions that a headline of one of these articles from 1968 reads, Miss Gaprin Dashvili beat 7 men in a strong tourney. All right. Okay. The newspaper quotes Gaprin Dashvili speaking in Georgian in a recent video interview arranged by her lawyers that was translated to English by her grandson. They were trying to do this fictional character who was blazing this trail for other women, when in reality I had already blazed the trail and inspired generations. It was an insulting experience. This is my entire life that has been crossed out as though it is not important. Interestingly, the 1983 novel The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis, on which the series was largely based, does not state that Gaprin Dashvili had never faced men. In fact, the book reads there was no Gaprin Dashvili, not up to the level of this tournament, but a player who had met all these Russian grandmasters many times before. The lawsuit's 25-page complaint, available online here, claims that Beth Harmon's character plainly draws on Gaprin Dashvili's achievements. Harmon is in many respects an Americanized and fictionalized version of the real-life female Georgian prodigy who was the first to break gender barriers in international chess in the 1960s by competing with and defeating top male players. The Queen's Gambit was watched by over 62 million households in just the first month after its release, partly because of this big success. The suit claims that the line she had never faced men causes professional harm to Gaprin Dashvili. The false statements have caused Gaprin Dashvili personal humiliation, distress, and anguish, as well as damages to her profits and earnings, and her ongoing capacity to engage in her professional livelihood in the world of chess. She has thus suffered special damages in the form of pecuniary losses and lost business opportunities of no less than $75,000, and general damages of no less than $5 million, all to be established at trial. Okay, you guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this again. I wouldn't be shocked if Netflix gave me a call, frankly, because this is just not the truth. This is just not the truth. It's just not the truth. I mean, professional business opportunities no less than $75,000. Honestly, I will say this: there is not a lot of money in chess, and if you're not in the absolute top 10 players in the world, for example, or top 20 players in the world right now, you have almost no chances of getting individual sponsors. Outside of your earnings as a chess player and how you perform in various events. So this notion of $75,000 when she's playing in senior events already, I mean, it's just not true. It's just not true. It's just not true at all. I mean, I'm not gonna say that this is her. I think this is her lawyers. I really do. But yeah, it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing. It's just it's just disappointing. That's what I would say. I would advise you stop commenting on legalities. You have no idea how much money this woman might have. LOL, anyone can sue anyone. I'm giving a personal take on what I think. I'm not acting like I'm a lawyer or anything, but I'm just saying that, like, with all due respect to you guys, I am a chess player. I've been in the chess world my whole life. I know I have a pretty good read on what appearance fees are and what people are making in general, because it's all out there. Seriously, I mean, you guys act like I don't know anything about chess. I mean, seriously, give me a break. I mean, seriously. What do I think? I'll say this: it should be settled. It should be settled out of court. Some sort of small settlement. I mean, who knows what it will be? Some small settlement out of court. That's that. You know, they basically say, yeah, we made our mistake. End of story. That's what it should be. I think they made a mistake. I highly doubt that it was intentional. I bet, you know, they're basically, the only way you can look at it is it won't be settled. It'll be dismissed. I mean, I hope there's a settlement. That's what I would say. I hope there's a settlement, because if it's not settled and it gets dismissed, basically what's going to happen is she's going to end up losing money, because you have to pay the lawyers regardless. As we all know, you pay the lawyers regardless, and if it gets dismissed, she's just going to be out money, which is just, I mean, it's just unfortunate. So yeah, that's what I would say. I mean, it's just, that's what I would say. Next lawsuit will be on Hikaru from her, and it will include a Twitch clip. Yeah. Oh, it's true, lawyers could be working pro bono. That's true. I didn't think about that. She should lose money. No, I mean, I will say this, I don't think it's her. I think it's, I mean, I totally think this is I think this is lawyers pushing it. I really do. I think this is lawyers pushing it. There should be some small settlement. I don't know, like 5,000, 10,000, whatever you want to call it. Some small settlement, move along. That's that. End of story. No pro bono lawyer would take this case. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, it's disappointing. So yeah. Contingency, agree. Yeah, I mean, they made a mistake. Like, I'll tell you what the options are, because as a chess player, you generally think about things in terms of the options. I'll give you what I think happened with Netflix. The options that I see are number one is that someone, you know, spent God knows how many hours looking at the script from the book, trying to convert it into a storyline, or into a script for a television show. So someone probably spent, like, you know, hundreds of hours at least going through that. They go through that, and they just made some honest mistake where they see it, and they're just like, they didn't realize that they didn't realize sort of what the impact would be, or that it's an actual very serious error. That's option one that I see. Option two is that whoever went through the book and did the script, they probably they might have left it as the same, and then one of like the directors, or one of the people working there, one of the writers or somebody, they saw, and they're like, okay, well, we should change it for drama. Again, not understanding how the chess world works, not understanding that it kind of is a big deal. So there's that. They had chess consultants. Yeah, but the thing with the consultants, though, is I think Pandolfini and Kasparov were dealing mainly with like the chess positions. They were dealing with like the chess positions and like the chess atmosphere at various tournaments, I think, more than like going over every single line of the script. I did finish the article. That was the end of the article, you guys. So that's what I would say. I think it's one of those two things that happen, but it's never malicious or like intentionally lying to screw someone over. That's what I would say.